Hey everyone, thank you for taking time out on a Saturday evening to join us for the pitch and deep dive call of BioVeda, an interesting agri-tech startup. I think we had the pitch call early last week, and a lot of you already expressed interest. And yeah, as we generally do, we'll have a deep dive call where we'll go over the pitch again. And yeah, any more further questions from folks who attended earlier, as well as any new set of folks attending, you feel free to shoot your questions. As a reminder, this is the pre-series A round of BioVeda, who are also building the first quick commerce platform for farmers in tier 2 and 3 city villages. They are already at 2 crore monthly run rate, and year-end projection is 40 crores of revenue. And we have an opportunity to invest at an attractive 25 crore pre-money valuation. So yeah, without further ado, I'll let the founders, who are also brother sister, Mahua and Kaushik, take over and guide us through BioVeda's pitch.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rohan, for such a amazing introduction to both of us and BioVeda. So this is Mahua and Kaushik here, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking time up on a Saturday. So I have access to share, Rohan. Yeah,
Yes.
it's visible to everyone.
Yes, it is.
Great. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to share the first quick commerce platform in India for farmers and our rural counterparts, which is BioVeda. Of course, this quick commerce platform encompasses the agri piece of business and also the staples. So it is because farmers have varied needs from our urban counterparts. If we look at quick commerce as an industry right now, it's actually speeding at a different pace altogether. We all understand we come from urban India, and most of us order from Blinkits and Instamarts. The case is also true in rural India. We as started off as a agri-tech platform where we are providing a quick commerce solution to our farmers, where we deliver products to them, which is mostly agri products like seeds, chemicals, etc., within 4 hours of delivery. And we realized over the last 2 years, we've realized that there are certain pain points which the farmer goes through. But the most important one which came across to us was convenience. The convenience is, as I say, is not only the birthright of an urban citizen, it is as much the need of our rural counterparts as well. And if we look at all the e-commerce platforms which are right now successful or are probably moving towards that pace, the bedrock is convenience. That's exactly what they provide to their customer. And that's what we intend to do in BioVeda as well, where our customer is a rural customer. If we look at the business potential which we have, which is huge, we understand that almost 75% of the country resides in the villages, where we have about 120 million farmers. It's a $1,200 billion opportunity, putting agri and staples together. And the best thing is that this is the right time to be there and start a quick commerce platform, because almost 90% of the households have a smartphone, at least one smartphone each. So these insights and many more uh, actually made us take this leap in faith and launch something which has not been done before in rural India. Let me introduce ourselves to you. I'm Mahua, and as Rohan rightly said, we are a sibling duo here, me and Kaushik. Both of us hail from corporate backgrounds. I've worked for more than 20 plus years in various capacities, specifically in the almost about 70% of my time with insurance companies, where I've led the entire agent management, which is the bedrock of an insurance company, channel management, and led marketing initiatives for the company as well. Uh, I have had the experience of leading and the opportunity of leading almost a channel where there were about more than 1 lakh agents on ground. And probably that brings us a great experience for me to channelize those energies and understanding into Ayurveda. Kaushik, why don't you introduce yourself?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for making out time for this pitch. Let's even. I'm Kaushik Das Gupta, co-founder of BioVeda Agro Ventures. I've worked with multiple companies in different capacities in my last 20 years. predominantly into sales and distribution, and then at later stage in product marketing and many more other functions. During the last stint of 4 to 5 years, I've been working very closely with Amazon and Flipkart. Have launched multiple, let's say, models and marketing programs with them, and launched multiple products as well. So the combination of our, let's say, experiences, Momo comes in from an insurance background, I come from sales and distribution background. The entire business model that we have built is based on these two experiences, and which is why I think it's working really well for us. Yeah, please carry
I would like to reiterate that convenience is just not the birthright of urban citizen. It is as much the need of the hour for a rural citizen. If we look at the agri landscape, farmers have access to agri inputs. They have access to agri harvest where they can mandis where they can sell their agri harvest, and they also have access to credit from the local sahukars or the local lenders. But do they bring benefit to the farmer? No, there's certainly gaps which over research of 1.5 years, me and Kaushik realized. What are the gaps? The gaps is that farmers do not have access to agri inputs which are good in quality, or they're at exorbitant prices. Or at most times they do not get supplies of the right products. They have the mandis where they can go and sell their harvest, but again, they are at the receiving end where they have to wait for long hours in the queues to sell their harvest, and also the price which they are offered is definitely not very interesting. Plus, they get their money after 15 to 20 days. So it is definitely not convenient or a win-win game for the farmer. The credit which is offered to them at exorbitant rates, anywhere between 4 to 6% at a monthly basis. So they are always in this vicious cycle of a perpetual debt. And that is where we thought that we can bring in a leverage through technology where the farmer can benefit, and we can actually bring an increase in the farmer's income by 30% if they're associated with us for at least 3 years. I'm glad to share that we've already, in the last 1.5 years, we've been able to give them a benefit of about 8% savings. And therefore, we see a huge traction where farmers are actually taking membership and joining our platform and accessing these products which are available on the application. So a farmer can buy agri products, and as I said, we are introducing staples as well from the application. It's a e-com application, and those products are delivered to him at his doorstep within 4 hours. We have collection centers where he can come and sell his produce to us, and he can sell it within an hour. There are no waiting times, and he gets his money within 2 to 3 days. We're also tying up with various NBFCs and banks where we can provide affordable credit to the farmer at a very minimal interest rate so that he can buy from the application. This entire platform can be said that it's a social quick commerce platform where we are creating a social impact as well. BioVeda as an application is available to the farmer to download, and he can download it with the help of a Kisan Mitra. Now, who is a Kisan Mitra? You can probably say that he's very similar to an insurance agent, for the sake of understanding. He is ideally a person who's from the village, and he has access to 300 to 400 villagers or farmers in the village. His job is to appoint the farmer, is to onboard the farmer on the platform and help him, assist him to make orders, to place orders on the platform. Also to help him bring his produce to our collection centers so that he can sell it to us. This handholding is required because, of course, it's a phygital model. We realized very early that in rural India, only a digital platform would still not work. They need a feel and touch. Therefore, the Kisan Mitra. It also helps us gather a lot of information about the farmer, because when the Kisan Mitra onboards him on the application, we get a lot of details in terms of his demographics, his brand preferences, his choice of crop, what are the crops that he's growing, and other data, which helps us decide on the brands which he would prefer or buy, and also helps us in the prediction of the supply chain. This help again in turn helps us maintain a very lean working capital flow. The Kisan Mitra gets paid on a commission basis from time to time, basis of sales. This model is an input model. Once the farmer places the order, we deliver at his doorstep within 4 hours. This is for agri. On the market linkage side, where we buy his harvest, here the farmer brings his produce and we sell it to institutions, as which I mentioned here, and many more, where we directly take orders from the institutions, buy from the farmers, and then ship it to them. The third model, revenue model, is the credit model, which is still work in progress, as I shared with you. The next big thing which we are about to launch is 1 hour delivery for staples and kirana to the same set of farmers. This is a indication of how the collection centers are there, where we collect the produce and how we give our products and send our products to the farmer's doorstep. The entire mission being Chaukat se Chaukat tak, where we are collecting the output in 1 hour and delivering the input in 4 hours. If you look at competition right now, the other companies who are present online are delivering within 4 to 7 days. BioVeda delivers from hyperlocal dark stores, and therefore our deliveries are much faster and our logistic costs are much, much lower. The journey so far has been very, very interesting. We have our presence, especially in Western UP, in districts of Sambal, Badaयूं, Kasganj, Muradabad, and Eta. And these are where we also have our dark stores. We have been able to connect across 900 plus villages. About 40,000 plus farmers are registered on our platform, out of which 10,000 are BV Prime members who basically subscribed by paying a fee. And 80% of our business comes from these BV Prime members. I'm glad to share that we enjoy about 8 to 10% of market share in the major categories like potato and maize seeds, which we operate in. The business progression in the last quarter on quarter, if you look at the calendar year, has been 3x. This has been the growth. You can look at the numbers here. We have at present about 39 employees. We've covered 5 districts. We have almost 10,000 BB Prime memberships as we speak. We have a growth in this quarter has been about 270%. This was only till 31st October. Of course, as we move in December, it would grow more. And we recently have had a strategic tie-up with Vishal Mega Mart for the launch of our BB Quick model, which is the Kirana Quick Commerce. As I said, that we have a set of Kisan Mitras, at least 100 plus Kisan Mitras who have access to more than 75 members in a village of 250 members, which means almost 1/3 of the village is covered with our set of customers there. The 3 main growth drivers for us to move to the next level for this orbit leap is the BB Prime membership. It was during this time last year that we realized that we might be registering a lot of members, but the traction or the I should say the transactions coming from the members was very less. We were paying the Kisan Mitras to onboard them, and we were not actually charging any membership. That is when we took this step. We said that we would be onboarding farmers only when they pay a subscription fee and they are willing to buy. This has helped us create a demand engine where a demand is ready before the supplies are there. And therefore, we exactly know what are the products that we need to list on a platform which gets sold and the inventory does not gets stuffed. The second piece, which is really helping us, is a 4-hour delivery, which has brought in a huge change in the buying habits of the customers or consumers whom we are engaging with, and they are willing to buy repeatedly from BioVeda. Basis these two, we would be expanding ourselves, our customer base to 15 districts. The scale up would happen in Western UP to begin with, and then we would move to other states like Madhya Pradesh. All of this would only be possible when we have a bedrock of a very, very strong application. So therefore, we have our application is being upgraded. There's a lot of work which is already happening on it. And one of the reasons that we're raising money is to upgrade our application to the next level. The BV Prime impact, as I was telling you, has been phenomenal. The farmer pays 150 rupees, and over the year, he gains about 18,000 rupees, which comes from discounts, comes from delivery costs, and comes from logistics. For BioVeda, this means a captive business opportunity of 500 crore because one farmer is about 5 lakhs of business opportunity. If with 10,000 members right now, it's about 500 crores. And by end of this year, we would move to almost 25,000 to 30,000 BB Prime memberships. We are very glad to launch the BV Quick model, which is introducing Kirana or grocery for a set of farmers. The USP of this model is it's a zero stock business model. We will not be stocking anything at the dark stores, and for this we have already have had a strategic partnership with Vishal Mega Mart. Vishal Mega Mart has stores across our expansion line of wherever we are going. It's actually a mirror model of stores where we are operating, and we would be buying their stock, and we would be delivering to our customers. Kaushik, I would like you to pitch in for the dark store model.
If you have to understand typically what is a dark store for BioVeda, so a BioVeda dark store would be a cluster of 100 villages with an average of around 300 farmers per village. That's a set of around 30,000 farmers in a captive, let's say, one dark store. The business potential from agri is around 1,000 crore annually, and for BV Quick, for staples and groceries, would be around 400 crore. That's a cumulative business opportunity of around 1,400 crore from a single dark store. Uh, for break even, so for us to break even from a drugstore, we need to do around 10 crore business. Input being in the range of around 40%, quick around another 40%, and output around 20%, with an average margin of around 7 to 8%. BioVeda is already positive in two stores. We've recently started three new stores, which will see some amount of break even happening around the sixth or the seventh month. We intend to do around 100 crore from each dark store as we move forward. Yeah, moving on. Uh, Typically speaking, a dark store, how is it different from an urban dark store? The area covered by us is around 15x of a urban dark store. Since we are not delivering in 10 minutes kind of a timeline, we are currently starting off with a 4-hour delivery right now, wherein the competitors who are already there from e-commerce platforms delivers between 4 to 7 days right now. And as we move forward, we intend to make the deliveries within 60 minutes. I think Mohammed already shared this slide with you. Vishal Megamart is our strategic partner. Since the dark store is a very high level inventory model, till the time it becomes a marketplace model, which is why we have shortlisted Vishal Megamart and we have accepted our offer of being a strategic partner for areas that we are operating in. The intention is to spread to around 100 dark stores in the next 24 months and have around 10 lakh BV Prime members onboarded with us. The first 10,000 has taken us around almost 7 to 8 months to be on board. However, come March, we'll be having around 50 to 60,000 BV Prime members. And we intend to do around 3,000 crore of business GMV in the next 24 months. This round has been open for a 4 crore kind of a fundraise round. The pre-money valuation is around 25 CR. We have already raised money in the bank around 2 CR. This has happened between May till October this year. We already have some commitments coming in from few investors for this round as well. The balance 2 crore is open for, let's say, investments. That's about it. Chaukat se chaukat tak. That's been our motto and mission, wherein we intend to, let's say, take the inputs to the farmers chaukat and buy from their, let's say, chaukat as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Maho and Kaushik, for the wonderful pitch. Definitely does seem pretty interesting and promising. Cool. With that, now we are open for questions. So anyone who wishes to speak, do raise your hand and we'll allow you to unmute. Or if you wish to ask anything in the chat, feel free to chime in the chat. Maybe I'll begin. So yeah, you guys mentioned we have, 2 crores of commitments already in the current round. So if you can let people know these commitments are from, they'll get an idea who all are already in it.
So we have commitment from Peaceful Progress Fund, and then there is commitment which has come from Rowan side as well. Plus, we have commitment from two others, our existing investors, JLC and Bullstart, who are putting in more money. So that's
So
how.
we have also received some interest which is coming from IPV Ventures recently, around last week. We got a call from IPV as well,
Riverwalk
Riverwalk,
Holdings.
and few more, let's say, VC funds as well.
This is not only for this round, that's also for the next round, which we would be raising very soon.
Interesting. Cool. Uh, Anyone else has any questions, please feel free to ask, guys. I'll also,
Hello, can you
yeah,
hear me?
yes, we can.
Okay, I was looking through the slides, in the slide deck, and if you could take me to the competitive landscape slide, and I just wanted to get a walkthrough on that competitive landscape slide because it's a bit confusing to me. So I thought it will be a good idea if you can just
Sure,
clarify that to me.
sure.
This one.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, exactly.
So if you see the competitors who are there in the space, so there are multiple, let's say, angles to the competition. So there's a B2B space which is there. There's a pure play online which is there. Then there's a quick commerce or an e-commerce platform which is there. And then there's a call center platform as well. So if I talk about the likes of Agrim, so what Agrim typically does is they have a set of call centers and they have a list of retailers available with them. These call centers guy actually call up the retailers directly and offer them prices. They also have a website wherein you can actually check out the prices of the product, and they're selling to retailers on an ongoing basis. So this is one set of, let's say, competitor who is there. Now, if you see the x-axis is B2B to B2C. Now, if you see, typically Agrim is a B2B player. They're buying from brands and wholesalers in the market, and they're selling to retailers. However, if I compare Agrim to BioVeda, BioVeda is a pure play B2C kind of a model, wherein we buy from brands and distributors, and we are selling to end customers. Again, if you see the likes of Dehat and Unnati, they have a B2C and a B2B model. 95% of the business of Dehat is coming from a B2B model. So either they are selling to a retailer or they are buying from mandis. Again, if you talk about Nurture Farms is again a B2B, a pure play B2B model, wherein they are selling to retailers through a mobile application. Coming to this side of the chart, if you go up on the y-axis on the right side, on the B2C play, if you see there's a Big Heart. Now, Big Heart is a pure play B2C model, uh, which over a period of the last 10 years is doing around 40 crore in input business and around 350 to 360 crore in the output part of the business. They have access to around 20,000 pin codes and they operate through a model which is very similar to Flipkart and Amazon. Now, if you see and compare this with BioVeda, the BioVeda model is a little different. Now, we have a hyper-local delivery model. So, anybody who is around 15 to 20 kilometers from the dark store is the area that we currently service, which is why the cost of logistics for us for agri products is as less as 0.5 to 1%. However, somebody who's bringing materials from Ghaziabad or Noida to a, let's say, a location which is a rural Badaim or a Sambal area or a Farukhabad area, the cost of logistics can vary from 8% to 15%, which is why over a period of time, possibly this kind of a model will be very difficult to operate in agri space. Also, growth in such areas in input business seems very unlikely. Did you get a sense of the models which are operating in the market?
Yeah, I get a sense. And what is this AI driven and predictive SCM over there?
So what we are doing also, so Mahua was explaining. So while we are collecting data or registering a farmer on the, let's say, platform, what we are doing is, apart from the demographic basics of name and their phone number and their family members and stuff, we are also collecting the data in terms of their land holding. So typically, how much what kind of land do you hold or how much land do you, let's say, sow or reap? So for example, if it's a 3 acre kind of land, and since the definition of the crop is also there by cycles, possibly a maize, then a paddy, and then a combination of wheat and potato, we can understand what is the kind of input that he'll be buying over a period of 1 year. Also, the amount of harvest which will come to us from the crops that they are, let's say, managing right now. So we can now build a predictive analysis And there are brand preferences also mentioned over there. So, for example, if a farmer chooses that I need X brand, and we can actually through the land holding predict the what kind quantity is required by him for this brand, and basis that we actually build our inventory models. And in the last 1.5 year, we had operated a very minimalistic kind of inventory, which is generally not beyond 3 to 5 days, even during peak seasons.
Okay, so basically you're doing data analysis and taking care of these things.
Correct.
So
On
it's
the
more of
back
a
end.
data analytics over there. Okay, fine. I was wondering like what does AI over there actually mean? So basically it's data
Going
analysis
forward, yes, going
that's in
forward,
play.
what will happen is since this is kind of some time from now, possibly 2 or 3 years, UP government is also building a agri stack, which will also give us a lot of data points in terms of the crop, let's say health and the behavior, weather patterns. That once those kind of data points come in, yes, AI could actually trigger multiple messages, basis the learnings and the data that we'll capture over a period of time.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anand. We have a couple of questions in the chat. One from Shrikant. How the funds will be utilized? I think that was part of your deck. If you can just show that and like the utilization of funds
Sure.
and run through it at the same time. Like I mean, talk about it.
Can you see the slide?
Not yet.
Okay. Now?
Yeah, you can see it now.
So majority of the funds would be used in dark store expansion, as you can see. So the intent is by end of March. Uh, Currently, there are 5 dark stores which are operational right now. The idea is to reach out to another 5 more by end of March. So majority and typically a dark store expansion would mean appointment of teams, appointment of certain operational stuff like IT and hardware and other stuff, and cost of operations basis certain requirements which are required in a dark store. So that's the major part of the business. Currently, between the two of us, the entire show is managed between the two of us. We intend to take few people in HO level as well for managing certain brands. Also, in terms of the supply chain and the digital marketing part of the business, something that we intend to do as we move forward. Some kind of hiring is planned in the next 3 to 4 months. Tech in an ongoing basis is something that we keep on investing. However, not much amount of money would be put on tech. We have already put in some 50, 60 lakh rupees in the last 2.5 years on the tech part of the business. And we'll keep on, let's say, investing in tech, but not in huge scale right now. And there are certain pilots that we intend to do, which can actually help us build more, make the business more profitable, is something that we will keep on investing in. Plus, on the finance part of the business, there is a certain amount of FLDG uh, uh, that we want to put in through these funds to the tune of around 10 to 15 lakh rupees for doing a pilot on the financing part of the business is something that we intend to.
I've also allowed everyone to unmute now, so you need not raise hand. Anyone who wishes to unmute and clarify anything, please, or ask any question, please feel free to unmute. Next question is by Siddharth. Since you also mentioned about your next round plans, like some brief about the next round plan and valuation, etc.
So the next round would begin soon after this round is closed, within at least 1 or 2 months. So which would be at a 150 to 200 crore valuation, and we plan to raise about 45 to 50 crore in that round. We are already in talks with certain VCs. There is a lot of interest in the VC community about the rural quick commerce which we are doing, which has not been done before. So at this point of time, I would not be able to share all the names because we are still in discussions with everyone.
In fact, just to add to what Moa has suggested, our current MRR is in the range of 2 crore right now. And by February, March, this will go up to around 7 to 8 crore. We feel that by next year, we should be clocking around 250 to 300 crore business. The similar, let's say, financial year April 25 to March 26. And I feel that this kind of evaluation is something that we're already discussing with VCs right now. But we need to head that 7 to 8 crore MRR by February, March, and which seems very likely.
Interesting. A lot of interesting upside possible if, like the next round goes as planned.
Also, Rohan, if you see February, March is a very favorable season for us. Maize being our stronghold. Also, with the launch of BV Quick, we are expecting around 1.52 CR business coming in from BV Quick. Plus, maize would be another 5 to 6 crore on a monthly basis for these 2 months. So, typically, we should be ending at right now, we are at 16, 17 CR as of now for this financial year, which is almost three and a half, 4x of last year. And by end of this year, we should be around 40, 42 crore, which will be around 6 or 7x of last year.
God.
But yes, I must say one thing that all this is a function of funds being available at the right time.
Exactly.
So the faster the better.
Yeah, just for
Yeah,
everyone.
Rohan. Yeah, I have a question if I can, if no one is asking.
Please,
Yes,
Siddharth.
Y- Yeah. Thanks, and thanks for answering. So, future aspect is important because we are currently investing in this current round. So, thanks for clarifying it. So, I have a different question related to like why you choose UP, like West UP, for your to start with, especially because West UP is not that much like it's notorious in few things, right? So, are you facing any challenges while selling your products, or maybe are you facing any local challenges from farmers or someone, or maybe some
So
other
I think
related
it's a
issues?
very relevant question, Siddharth, that you had asked. So before starting off, we had done some pilots in Orissa, in Jharkhand, in Bihar, also in UP, the current area that we are working. One thing which was very, let's say, strongly came out was that we need to travel quite frequently in case we need to build a business model over there. Uh, so, so, so that area is kind of 170 or 180 kilometers from currently the place that we reside. We spend almost 20, 22 days in a month over there. So that was one reason as to why we wanted that area. Second, if you see the crops that we are engaging in, the very early stage we had finalized that we only deal in non-perishable crops. Perishable crops, as in vegetables and other things, is something, or fruits, we didn't want to deal in. Reason being the amount of damage and the wastage. So that kind of a, let's say, understanding of the business was missing on our side, which is why perishables was a more easy business to manage, understand at the outset. Now, when we reached there, we had actually gone for wheat. However, maize came out to be one of the biggest crops over there, actually, that we are managing right now. Also, with the ethanol requirement in India going up in manifold, a lot of farmers are now actually moving from other crops to maize, actually, which has actually the prices have jacked up for maize, the wholesale prices, the mandi prices from 1300 to around 2500 in the last 3 years. So it's almost doubled. This has not happened for any crop right now that we can actually see in India. So these were the areas, and initially we were thinking of, is this the right area, what right kind of crop? And the farmers do around 3 crops over here. So that was again one more benefit that let's say we had, because there are many areas where farmers do 2 crops. So there are only 2 cycles that we can actually encash over a period of 1 year. So these were the reasons that we stuck to this place. Also, the question that you posed, that is this an area which has concerns and notorious? Me and Moha travel together almost all the time. So possibly Moha travels for 15, 18 days. I travel for 20, 22 days. And we have not seen any such challenges. Recently, there has been an issue in Sambal, which was there for 4 or 5 days. There's some kind of mobilization of political issues which has happened. But by and large, if I talk about Badaयूं, Moradabad, Bareilly, let's say Farrukhabad, Kazganj, very safe areas
Very
to be
safe,
in.
yeah.
And thanks to the government over there, the current government, all the issues which are there in UP are taken care of. The government is pretty strong.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, I am from Meerut, so
Oh, you're from
that
Meerut.
is, yeah.
So Meerut has been one area which we travel frequently because of potato. We are associated
Right,
with over there.
right. So I thought because everyone has that perception about the West UP and all, right? So I thought, anyways, good to know that. Yeah, thanks
Not true,
very
Siddharth.
much for answering.
We've never faced a problem. Me being a woman, I've traveled across the breadth of and width of Western UP, and I've never faced any safety concern or issue.
Okay, and same for your team and
Absolutely.
other.
So most of
Okay,
the team
understood.
members are from the local
Yeah,
areas that
most
we have
of them.
shortlisted. So,
Okay,
so
okay.
we needed that local intelligence and the local network, and which is why most of the people that are with us, which is around 42 people right now, are from these local areas itself.
And we have 100% retention in the team. There has been zero attrition over the last 2 years.
Cool. That's great to know. Anyone else who wants to unmute, feel free to unmute and ask your queries, or you can also use the chat.
Thank you, Moha. Thank you, Rohan.
Shrikant.
Just adding on to my previous questions, thanks for clarifying the fund allocation part. I would like to ask more on your strategy part. Like rural customers are typically more price sensitive, and
Um,
how do you overcome these challenges, and how you build that trust over the on a scale, like uh, based on the price or based on the affordability, uh, and the competition from the hyper local market.
I'll give a mixed reaction, Mr. Shrikant, on this one. They're very, very price sensitive. I absolutely agree with you. On products which are, let's say, readily available, yes. However, they are very, very picky and choosy about seeds which they engage with. Something which has given results in the past.
Very quality conscious.
Very, very quality conscious. I'll give an example of Pioneer or even Bayer, for in that matter. There are certain products which are there in the market, uh, and these products contribute to 80% of the overall market actually. Uh, if I talk about maize, 9108 and Pioneer 1899. Now, these products are always in shortage. And the prices at times go beyond the MRP. So, for example, Pioneer 1899, which we sold this year, MRP was 618. Uh, at a certain point in time during peak time of the season, which was a window of 45 days, it was sold at 750, 800 rupees. The farmer did not go back. They bought 750, 800 from the retailer. However, the prices that we touched the max was around 618. So that is another one more add-on for BioVeda, that whatever be the prices or the prevailing market, let's say rates, even if it is beyond MRP, since we cannot do that as per MRTP Act, we maintain genuine prices and genuine products. Secondly, we also saw this as a challenge. So how do we scale up for products in case we also get short supplies? How do we scale up in the future? And which is why actually BV Quick came into place. Now, if you see, staples and groceries are a consistent business every day, every week, and every month. Uh, However, agri is a very seasonal business. You do this once in 3 months. And this was one more deterrent why our break even was taking longer than expected, around 11, 12 months. Come BV Quick, as I said earlier also, the break even would be 5 to 6 months and scale up will be much more faster. Any business that you see, Mr. Shrikant, if your attachment or engagement with the customer is not frequent, enough. If we are transacting only once in a quarter or once in 4 months, the stickiness is missing. Now, with the BV Quick, let's say added on to the model, the stickiness with the farmer is like once in 7 days or once in 10 days. So that's the engagement that we're trying to build on this platform by launching BV Quick along with BV Agri.
Great, thank you. The next question is based on, like, I know the same model is being applied in the urban customers with Zepto, Blinkit, and Instamart and different other players. So when it comes to rural India, where the tech penetration is low compared to the urban, so how do you tackle those challenges?
And this is actually exactly why we started off. So while before starting off, we had reached out to the founders of Dehat, Big Heart, Sachin, Big Basket, since the mentor who was there with us has been mentor to these companies also. What we understand during our pilots is that the stickiness on the app, purchase on the app is very limited. If it is not aided or guided over a period of time, the habit will not be built. Which is why exactly we started this with the phygital model, and which is what is giving us dividends. Now, if you see our average order value for seeds over a period of 1 year, it's between 11 to 12,000. However, if you compare the same with other e-commerce platforms who are prevailing right now, it's around 800 to 1,000 rupees. The reason being we can deliver in around 3 to 4 hours. So that's the beauty of the model. It's a hyper local model where the deliveries can happen really fast. Second, it's aided by a man who is actually based out of the village, helping you understand or place order on the app. And once the transaction multiplies over a period of time, you actually build a habit of placing order on the app. So we are not expecting anybody through digital marketing campaigns or anything that we can actually instigate the farmer to place an order. It is only when the Kisan Mitra reaches out over phone, over or physically reaches out to the farmer, he helps the farmer place an app order on the app right now. But yes, with the launch of BB Quick, since the engagement will be more frequent, somebody in the house will start learning how to use the app. And we feel in the next 6 to 12 months, the farmer himself, let's say possibly somebody in the house who is a younger guy, will start placing order on that.
All right. So how you are choosing these locations for the dark stores?
It's a very good question, Mr. Shrikant. So what we do is since we've actually made a framework of the crops that we want to engage in. So the crops currently are maize, paddy, wheat, mustard, pulses, and potato. So whenever we scan the area, so any farmer or any village or any cluster who's doing these set of crops, we engage in that cluster. We understand if the cluster has 100 or 200 villages over there for the dark store to survive or thrive over a period of time, basis which, let's say, we open up dark stores. For example, when we started off Sambal, we had one dark store in a certain location with similar thing. Now, over a period of last 1 year, we have opened two dark stores over here. Now, Farooqabad also, we have not opened up the dark store in the main heart of the district, which is Farooqabad, let's say city. We have opened it around 30 or 40 kilometers away from Farooqabad, where these set of, let's say factors or categories are taken care of.
Yeah, and each dark stores comes up with its own, the cost and the threshold of orders you require to maintain to,
Absolutely.
to reach the threshold or break even, right?
Absolutely.
So what if you don't achieve for specific dark stores? How long are you going to operate them
So
until?
we feel that one dark store with only agri business should be break even by 11 or 12 months. If we are not able to break even in 11 or 12 months, even with the launch of BV Quick, I think it's time for us to shut down. However, having said that, uh, typically speaking, when we open a dark store, the first thing that we drive in the area is to acquire BV Prime customers. We believe very strongly that if you have a set of 5 or 7,000 BV Prime customers who are paid subscribed members, which gives you an understanding of the captive business available with you, uh, there is hardly any chance that the dark store would actually not survive the break-even run.
So even before launching, we go and make BB Prime memberships, and that's how the whole spread is covered. where the demand is created first and then the dark store is physically launched. We put up the team beforehand, almost a month beforehand, where they appoint Kisan Mitras. The team is appointed, then the Kisan Mitras are appointed, and then a BV Prime drive is done. Once we reach a threshold of BV Prime, the dark store is opened.
Okay, thank you for clarification. So once the network and the dark stores is built completely and you are break even with the dark stores, so how many categories of the products you want to expand it to? I know initially you're targeting the agri products and the rural areas. So you have any other products in mind in future? Because once the network is built, once that trust is built with the brand,
So we
that will automatically scale up to the different categories and products. So
Surely, Srikant. So we are, of course, agri is something which we are doing for the last 1.5 years. We are starting off BV Quick on 14th of December, which is staples and groceries. That's the second line of products which we are starting, which we are very, very hopeful and bullish that it will really fly with the people. We've recently done a survey of about 4,000 people, where almost 96% of the respondents have said it's a digital survey for across our set of customers and farmers. 96% of them have said that they would buy products online, especially kirana and staples. And if we can deliver within 1 hour, the repeat buying would be 91%.
91%.
91%. And almost 94% of them will buy BV Prime memberships, which they're already doing. So, post this, we would definitely want to launch the second set of products, which would be financial products like insurance, which would be crop, term, and medical insurance. Then would come phones, mobile phones, because that's something which Kaushik is very good at. He's been selling phones and tablets for many years now. So that would come next. These lineups have already happened. And we would like to, of course, there are many more opportunities. There are tractor companies who are reaching out to us, drone companies are reaching out to us for SaaS services. So there are many opportunities, but we don't want to jump into everything right now. We want to take one by one, excel at one, and then move to the next. That's how we want to go about it.
okay, any quality checks in place for the products which are being delivered to the farmers?
We are buying products directly from the brands.
Okay.
Also, if you're buying from, Mr. Shrikant, if you see agri as a business, now since this has an opportunity and the farmers are naive and they don't understand much, what the brands have started doing is they have started giving QR codes to verify if the product is genuine or not. So these are unique QR codes given on every packet of seeds and chemicals they're selling. And we are actually, let's say, educating a lot of farmers around this
We do a
space.
lot of awareness programs. Our teams do awareness programs where we also have co-promotional awareness programs along with the brands and the villages to create this awareness as well around the quality of the products. Because about 30% of products sold in the market are spurious in nature. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you. I think it clarifies.
I had a few questions. In fact, only one question. So when it comes to your team, it's like a 40-member team, right? So what does a typical day look like for your major, team members? What is the typical, things that they do? How do you, rate your team members if they're performing well? Is there an office location where your team comes, or are they, distributed? Can you just explain me what
Sorry.
is the exact 40-member team doing?
I love this question. So typically, this is something which is very close to both of our, let's say, thought process. And so execution is the key, let's say, and it has been something which has been a success pillar in the last 1.5 years. So a typical day for the sales team, if I'm talking about the sales team, would start with a call from the, let's say, a Google Meet that we do
At 8:30
at 8:30 to 9 in the morning. This would last for around 40-45 minutes. Now, if I talk about today, let's say there are three priorities that a sales member has. One is, let's say, the survey, the BV Quick survey that they're doing online survey through the Kisan Mitras. That's one, let's say, drive that we are doing. The second is the Prime membership plan which they have, and how much will they achieve throughout the day is something that we understand. And third is the sales numbers. Now, all this is tagged to a specific journey plan, which a sales team member has over a period of a week or a max of 15 days. So that is a typical how a typical day starts. This again, if I talk about and then there's a field, let's say visit, and there are certain numbers which needs to be delivered on a daily basis, at least on the survey part, so that we understand that the member is actually reaching out to the right farmer and that they're doing the daily job. Now, this is also tracked on a hourly basis as to what is the number of productive calls which has happened between, let's say, between 8 to 10 p.m., 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, and 6 to 8. So that is another thing that we do. Uh, uh, Now, talking about the MIS team, so MIS, there are certain reports which are flashed on a daily basis, accumulated through our dashboard, backend IT team dashboard, which is flashed on a daily basis. So there are a few things like a ranking that we do on a daily basis to understand where people stand, and we also segregate productive, high productive, let's say, performers or contributors, and low productive, let's say, contributors, and we ask our managers to spend more time, let's say, with the low productive, let's say, sales team whom we are driving.
There are three, if I would like to summarize this into one point, that is, a sales member is driven by four parameters. One is that his morning meeting and market visits, which has a 10% weightage. The second is Kisan Mitra appointment. The third is BV Prime membership. And the fourth is sales. The last three are given 30% weightage, and the first one is 10% weightage. So this 100% weightage is his performance ranking.
For the entire year.
For the entire year. And he's tracked on this on a daily basis. Basis this, his promotions, his incentives, his bonuses are linked. So it's a completely performance oriented organization where even these young boys from villages now know how to track their numbers. This is all what we have done all our life, me and Kaushik. We have tracked numbers. And that's something which is always not only on our tips. I'm very happy to share. You call up any one of my employees, they'll not only know their
Real
numbers,
time.
they'll know others' numbers as well.
Also, we are building an app for the Kisan Mitra network and our teams, wherein they can actually track their Kisan Mitras also, geotagged, geofenced, numbers, communication schemes, trackers, everything would be there.
It's a very performance driven organization where we launch schemes, incentive programs. Likewise, it is launched in insurance companies and FMCG companies for our teams, and they have a winning spirit. They do win, and they do win awards and prizes for that as well. So it's a winning mindset.
And what would be the percentage of this sales team in the total, set of employees?
Out of
I'm sure that
49,
you have the
29
MIS and
29 are sales members, 4 leaders, and 25 field staff. And the rest is MIS, warehouse guys, and 4 permanent bikers, you can say.
And the two of us.
And the 2 of us.
Thank you. Thank you for your response.
Yeah.
Yeah, one last question. So currently you're partnered with Vishal Megamart, right? And they're acting as a dark stores at this point.
Right, that's right.
Right. And what are all the other partners you're looking at for the upcoming dark stores? Is it going to be Vishal Megamart only, or because in some places they don't have a presence, then you might need a new partner? Right?
So recently, Shrikant, I think very interesting question actually. So Shrikant, what has happened is if you see the quick commerce platforms like Zepto, Blinkit, Instamart have started pouring into tier 2 markets. Tier 2 markets would typically mean 5 lakh to 20 lakh kind of a population. However, if you see district villages, nobody's keen right now. Now, our pitch with Vishal Megamart is that you're only covering areas, district headquarters with an 8-kilometer kind of a radius. However, we can actually help you tap the entire district. So that's the pitch. Now, going forward, if there is a requirement of opening up one more dark store through Vishal Megamart, which they are planning to do, The current format is a 20,000 square feet format. They're planning to open up 1,000 square feet format for their apparel business. We intend to do a pilot with them wherein we actually ask them to make 1,500 square feet dark stores at locations that we intend to expand. In case not, yes, we are more than willing to engage with anybody who's planning to, let's say, join hands with us.
One of the reasons that we wanted to have the strategic partnership with Vishal was their presence right now in Uttar Pradesh or Western UP, where we operate in or where we plan to expand, is an exact mirror image of our expansion plan. So, for example, if I look at Badaयूं is catered by two stores from Vishal Megamart. One is from Chandosi and one is from Badaयूं. If I look at Kasganj and Farrukhabad, they have stores there. So all these areas which you see on the map, there are two stores at least in these areas and districts. So that helps us, and that was the reason we wanted to have the strategic partnership. Of course, as we move on, there would be other partners.
There are certain geo retail stores also, Easy Days also available in some districts, but the presence of Vishal across these districts is very high.
Also, apparel as a category is a very important category, which probably we would open up soon. And that is also something which Vishal caters very, very beautifully in terms of the demographics
Price,
and the price bracket. Affordability. So that's also something which we are looking at. Plus, there are other stores as well which we can connect with.
Okay, in some places where government benefits are there today through some or the other scheme for the farmers, where they're getting the product at a subsidized prices. So how do you deal with those kind of challenges?
For example, if I talk about wheat, wheat is a product which government actually, in terms of seeds, subsidizes a lot. So possibly if there's 100 rupee of overall seed market for wheat, which is selling in a district, 30 rupees is a subsidy market which is operated by the government. However, there's a 70% market which is still there, which is actually worked upon by private players. So the entire market is not a subsidy market, as we all it might seem. But yes, there is a certain segment of market. For example, if I talk about potato, possibly a 5% market is there, which is a government subsidy driven market. The rest 95% is a private label market where it's driven by brands and multinationals. So this is how it actually pans out.
Okay, thank you.